Hello guys, welcome to our channel. Hope everyone is doing good. Today we're going to learn generics. So I'm going to explain you with a very small example what is generic and how we can make use of it. So usually people be using the generics, but like sometimes it's very confusing that like what are the inbuilt generic classes, what we have it, and how we can create our own customized generic classes and how we can make use of it. So in today class, I'm just going to explain you what is generics. So usually a generic strongly typed collections. So that means like whenever you create a generic class, so you just have to maintain the type of the whatever you want to do it, the type of the class you just have to go ahead and define that. So it's a strongly typed collections. So it helps us to write a higher quality and maintain the performance of your code. So it obviously is like whenever you use a generic classes, it always helps you to reuse the particular generic classes by defining the type. And yeah, we can just see that in a example. uh, and also generics can be implemented with the interfaces, delegates, and methods. So if you guys are not aware of what is interfaces, delegates, and methods, so what I'll do, I'll just try to explain interfaces, delegates, methods in the coming classes. So what is the namespace for the generics? So system.collection.generic is the namespace for the generics. So usually generic class, it can be defined by putting the in between the tags. You can just see a T sign which has been put it right after the class name. So it is not the mandatory that just have to put a T word. So we can just define it in any word. Example, I'm just going to call a class as a test class of U. That is also possible. Test class of V. That is also possible. So here, people usually what happens, so they're going to use, because it's a type of it, so people prefer always to use a T. So we can just see how we can define a generic classes. We can define a generic class as public class. A generic class is a class name, and T is a type of it. So you can just go to the next one. So what is different types of generic classes? We know that. So stack of T. So usually if you are using stack of T, it's a last in and first out list. So it is something like you guys might have heard about last in, first out, and first in, no first out. So those things which I have studied in your college days or something like that. But here I'm not going to get depth in the stack T. So we'll just go to do in the next class. So we have something called as list of T. So most of you guys would have been used list of T. So where you'll pass all the list of items and you'll do the type of the class you're going to the type of the list you're going to define it and just start using it and start adding to the items to the list and do such an operations over there. So we have one more thing called as dictionary. It's usually called as a name value base. So what you happen, you'll just have to define a key along with a value. So by using the key, you can always get the values of it. So one more thing is Q of T, something a first in, first out list. And we have something called as collection of T. It always used to compare two generic objects for equality. So these are all some of the basic things what we have it. So let me directly go to the the Visual Studio and start explaining the code which I've written to understand what exactly it is. So now let me switch back to the Visual Studio. So in this example, I have created a sample application. It is a very simple project as a console application. So where I'll be using it for demonstrating you the few of the code, how we can just go ahead and start using the generic classes. Just to save the time, the code which I have been already written here. So if you guys don't know how we can create a project, you can always go here and just create a new project. So in this case, I just selected console application. So the next is like how we can achieve the generic classes. So here to explain you what is generic classes, I just have created a employee class. So employee class is the generic class. I just made as U here. So just to make sure there's no rule that you guys have to always use T in your generic classes. So here instead of U, I can always go ahead and mention W or whatever the the letter which I wanted. But here I just mentioned it U just to clear, you guys, it's not always mandatory that you guys just have to use U, sorry, T. So in this, what we have done, it's an interclass, so it can be accessed within the assembly itself. So here, what we're doing, we just create an array, so which is a like which always defines its type. So what are the object when you're going to create an object for this class? So you have to define what type of it is. So I'm just using a array here just to add it, and this is something like which will just help me to add one by one. So here have a method just to add it, and here just have if condition, and based on this I keep on adding the items back to this employee items, which is nothing but an array for me. So have a get and set properties for me. So here what is this? This refers to the current object. So it always takes the type of it, and always returns me the array. So here the array is nothing but employee items. So it is something index, like what are the index I'm just going to call it, and that's going to return us. And if you want to set any value to this is something like which will always set a value for us. So let us go back to the program.cs. So here let me comment out this line of code for a second. So let us keep this very simple class here. So here again you can just see that I'm just creating an object. So here I'm just keeping it very simple. I just wanted to add a list of employee names. I just want to add a employee names to back to this the array which I created here. So what I'm doing here, when I'm creating an object of it, so here I declare it as a string. So what happens? This add method. So what is this add method? This add method is nothing but the method which I created in the generic class. So what this do? This returns a generic type. Like what are the type you want to define it? It always defines that. So you guys have to be very careful here. So you're just like defining it as a string. So what are the value you're passing here? It always and it will accept only the string. So let us test. Let me try to pass some string value to this. So what happens? So usually see it's throwing the exception. So what is saying? Cannot convert into string. So what is the meaning of this? So we have a generic class, and we have to define that particular generic class as a string. That means like we can only pass string values to this a particular add method. So here the type, what is the type you want to define it? So later we'll just define it some other type and just try to pass something, some other integer or something to that. So let me execute what happens. So this is something like where we try to, we'll just read the values from this employee, and here we are adding it, and here we're getting it back. So let me put a breakpoint here. So let's try to run it. So once I do that, so I'll just show you the output window. Yes, if you look at my output window, in the output window, what you can see here, I'm just passing Rahul, Sachin, and Virat. These are the names, and which is type of string. So it accepts it, and it displays the value for us. So similarly, what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to define this particular generic class. We should accept only the integer values now. How we can do that? So let me get back to the Visual Studio. Yeah, in this case, what I'm doing here, let me console dot write line, say that like it's an employee salary. What I want to do here, I just want to make sure I want to just pass only the integer values here. So here I'm creating one more object here for the same generic class. So I'm just calling it as an integer value. So here I'm just going to pass only I should be passing only the integer values, because I'm saying this generic class, okay, this is the object which should accept only the integer values. So what happens if I try to pass integer or something? So here also it says cannot convert from string to integers. Yes. So this class only accepts the integer values. So I'm actually passing the only integer values. So this method now will take up the integer values, and if you just go here, it'll be like it'll act as a integer now. It's an integer type, so it will just add the values to that. So here let us see the output of it. So hopefully this should display the both the employee names and the employee salary. So here I'm just trying to keep it very simple for you guys, because maybe someone is very much experienced, it's very simple for them to understand. But if someone is from college days, or that just came out from the college, and they're looking for a job, and this kind of things will really help them. So let me get back to the output window now. Let me run it. So just I'll do one thing. Just go ahead and click on run the application. I'll just go to the output window now. Yeah. If you look at the output window now, it is showing employee names and employee salary. So first one is the object which accepts only the string, so it is done. And next one is the employee salary, that is also done. So in the next step, in the example, if you want to create one more object and you have to pass float or other different types, or if you have altogether a separate things or separate class or whatever it is, you just can go ahead and make sure you can define the type and you can start reusing those things. So this is something what you guys have to learn about the generics. So there are some other generic classes like which is there first. We can just go ahead and use it. I'll be just explaining that in the next video. Yep, and this is all about the generic classes and how we can create it, how we can consume it. And let me just give you a few more information. In the coming classes, we will see like how we can make use of list, dictionary, queues, and stack. So you guys will have a basic idea about these generic classes. So which is very, very important for your interview perspective. And this is a basic introduction about the generics. So we are One Brain Innovations, and we provide training most of the on like we provide training on most of the latest technologies for freshers and as well as for the experienced. So we mainly focus on ASP.NET MVC, ASP.NET Core, and web APIs, and we're using the latest one, .NET 6.0, and we do provide training on Azure Blob Storage, Azure Service Bus, and SQL Server, JavaScript, jQuery, Azure DevOps, DFS, GitHub. So these are all the the latest technologies. And if you guys are looking for anything on .NET, you can just always let us know. We are happy to help with you. You can just provide your comments on the particular video, and any queries will be answered over there. So, and also you guys can contact us through this number if anyone is looking for a course or something like that, and if you want to really improve your skills on the .NET and have a good career, you can just call us or just put a message to us. So we'll just try to connect with you, and yeah, we just have a good trainers in our organization. So we'll have almost like 10 plus years of IT experience, and we have very well organized trainers. So we've been doing the training since 3-4 years. Yeah. So end of the day, it's all about want to just help you guys on developing your career. All the best who are looking for a job, and please do let us know your feedback on the video. Thank you so much for your time. See you guys again. Bye bye.